everybody, this is Tina. Hope you're doing well today. I am here for a little process video, mainly because I was going through my things, sorting and cleaning up my craft room, and I found a whole bunch of papers, mainly from Ruby and Pearl, that I have not used, and these are from all different kits, quite a few different ones. And I thought, well, I wanted to make a journal because I had not made one in a long time. And I had bought a kit that I thought I would do for Valentine's. It was all pink and everything. And I thought, you know, I'm just going to do one that's kind of generic. This theme on this is going to basically be French and kind of fashion, which is something we all like, but and the colors are going to be all over the place. But I thought, you know what? I'm going to do a flip-flop journal tutorial or process video because my first video that I did out there on doing a flip-flop journal, I have evolved from that. I have figured out ways to do it easier and quicker, and I think they look better and are, I don't know. I just thought I would share that with you just because, you know, I'm going to do it, and I thought it might be fun for some people to see how I do it. Now, I realize that there's lots of videos out there on how to do it, and every one I've watched I think is a little bit different. So I think mine's a little different than some people. I don't open up the envelopes all the way just because to me I get confused and it makes it harder. But I don't know. I'm just going to show you what I'm doing, and then hopefully it'll make sense to you and it'll be easy for you or easier. And you know, you might want to just do it along with me. So as I said, I've got envelopes of all different sizes, and that's one thing too. I think on my previous doing a flip-flop journal, I had basically 3 sizes of envelopes, and I made that simple. But I just wanted to show you using different sizes how it can really add to the journal, and you know, it's really not that difficult. So I'm not really going to get into the different sizes because you can just buy different size envelopes, or you can use even better, you know, your junk mail envelopes. My problem with me is my husband rips them all open and they're so bad that they're just unusable. So I do have some of those, and I also don't feel like I have enough variation in size, so I bought different ones. And I've had a stash of envelopes for quite a long time. Some of them I got on Amazon, some of them I got at the dollar store, some I got at Walmart. So I have all different kinds. So it doesn't, you know, I use them for different things. So you definitely can just use the ones, junk ones if you have them. But I personally like to use a variety of kinds because I really think it makes the journal look good. So if you can see here, I've got this smaller one. This one's a little bit smaller. Whether they have a window on it or not, it doesn't really matter. This is probably one of my larger ones out of the bunch. And I don't know if I'm going to use, I have to see how many I have here because I cannot remember. I think I want one a little smaller right here. Yeah, probably. So let me just start with how I do it. First off, you need a base, and your base usually is going to have your larger envelopes in your bunch. And I have these 3 larger ones right here. Okay. And then I'll probably, is that one larger than this one? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, a little bit larger. So I've got that. This one's probably larger than that. And then this one can go down there. Okay, so what happens is basically your larger envelopes create your base. I don't know which one's larger. Those are pretty close. Okay, so what I do is I just use these. A lot of people open these up, okay? And that is how they do them. They just open these up, and instead of having like this piece, they'll use this open piece. I don't do that. I use this as a base, mainly because I think it's a little sturdier, and also it's just easier for me and my brain to figure out how to do it. So what I will do, I'm going to move those aside. These are my first two pieces here. I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to attach this to that, just like that. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. And so it has glue on this, but I also do that and my glue stick. I do both. And I use a Scotch glue stick, and it's permanent, and I love it. And that's all you really need on this. You don't need anything else to attach this or attach your papers or anything, because it is really pretty much all you're going to need. Now the important thing is you want to make sure that you don't go over this line, because otherwise it'll make it very, very difficult to fold. So you kind of want to get it to where, you know, you don't go over the line, and you make it pretty even on top and the bottom. Now of course your envelopes are not going to be the same, so you know that's not gonna it's not always gonna work out. Okay, so that's going like that. Okay, this one, and honestly even if you do this backwards you can still flip it around. So this I attached here. This one I'm going to take this lip and I'm going to attach it here so it folds that way. Okay, so I'm going to put that here, and if for some reason you do it backwards, no big deal, because you can always fold them the other way later. So just make sure again that you're not overdoing this here. There we go. So now we've got this. This is what we have. Okay, we have this one, and this one. So now we're going to put one, you guessed it, to go the other way. This one's going to go like that. Okay, so that's going to go like that right there. So we're going to end up with, when we get all done, we're going to end up with a W or an M is what you're trying to end up with. And as I said, if you get one backwards, not a big deal, because you can always go back and just flip it around. You'll see what I'm talking about in a minute. Just the only thing is just make sure you don't go too far. And even if you do that, that's fixable. So, all right. So when you're done with that, you're going to end up with something like this. Okay. So it's either a W or an M, depending upon what you, and this is not an absolute either. You don't have to have this many flips and flaps on here. You don't. What this does is this allows you at least 3 places where you can put papers, okay? Minimum, okay? You can add more and have more flips and flaps, and we're going to be doing that. But you don't necessarily have to add pages to that. Now here is an envelope that's a little bit smaller. We're going to fold it all back down, okay? And we're going to take this one that is smaller than this other one, and we're going to put it here. And this could be your cover, and that's all you do. But we're not going to do that. We're going to add it and then add more. Because to me, the more layers you add on these, the more interesting it is, and it's really not that hard to do. So we're going to take this, and I'm going to put it in the middle. You don't have to put it in the middle. You can put it toward the top or the bottom. It doesn't really matter. But again, you don't want to go over the little fold line too far, because you want to be able to open it. Okay. All right. So we've done that. Now I'm going to take a smaller envelope, and I am going to add that to here, to the middle of that. Okay. And that is going to give me another little flip over here. So we're going to do that. And that is going to go kind of toward the middle. Not perfectly, but that's okay. I don't care if it's not exactly in the middle. So on the other side, we could just leave it like that, but we're not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and glue this shut. Okay. And we did that one. Okay. This was open here, and I'm going to go ahead, and you can attach it several different ways, but this to me is the simplest and easiest and doesn't blow your mind way to do it. Okay, so that is going to go open up that way. So I want this to go right here on this end, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but you want to kind of get it somewhere in there like that. Okay, and then we're going to add yet another piece. And the way that I do mine is I kind of end up having like two front pieces or two covers. Definitely do not have to do it like that. So this can go like that, right? Then it can open in here. Now you can put papers in here, or you can just decide to make it a pocket. It really just depends on what you want to do, okay? That is totally up to you how you want to do that. A lot of people put another whole signature in here rather than just having the three, or maybe they just put plain papers in here and then have other papers in the other side. That is totally to your taste. So that is the base of what we're going to do. Now, the part that I do differently than I did before is I used to cut my pieces for each section. And I don't do that anymore because, I think it looks cool. It gives you a lot of variation. But a lot of the patterns out there in papers, and here I'm going to move these aside, because I have some that are printed on both sides, and then I have some that are printed on just one side. And I'm going to take the ones that are printed just on one side, and I am going to decide where I want to put. I'm basically just going to take these and I am going to put them on like these, because look at this. This covers almost two sides of that. So let me cut off the edges, and I don't know what I'm going to put where yet. I haven't really decided. It's like, you can look at this. Okay, for instance, if we put this down, look at all the variation in wonderful things that are on there that we can put on there, right? And we don't have to worry about and even ones that are not long and tall like that, like let's say for instance, let me find one like this. Okay, so it doesn't go all the way to the top. Well, we can just collage another piece up there, okay? Which I'm probably going to do something like that too. All right, so let's just put these two down. I would say the color palette on this is mainly green and blue, but there's going to be some other colors mixed in it. And I realize that this is not the size that we need yet, but I'm going to go ahead and glue it down in a minute and get it to where we actually need it. So, and I do my inside pages, and then I go and I figure out my outside ones. To me are a little bit more complicated because I'm trying to figure out what my cover is and that kind of thing. But okay, so let's see here. Now this is going to come up a tiny bit short as far as the edges, but that's okay because we're going to ink those and they will be fine. And I'm going to just basically put this on, and I'm going to just use glue stick. And I don't want to cut her off. I like her, so I will just go probably about right here. So all I'm going to do, and you could technically, you could do all of this prior to putting it together. You could actually go in there and put your papers on prior to gluing it all together, but I actually like doing it this way. I think it's super easy. So I am just going to take my glue, and this is the section we're putting it on, and I'm covering this part up. So I'm going to put a little glue there just to make sure, although once you cover it, it's not going anywhere. So, and I like using the glue stick just because there's no buckling and it dries, and you can use your wet glue if you want to, but this glue stick really does work well. So I'm going to make sure that I cover as much of this. Oh, here we go. Try it again. I did a little crooked. This portion on the right as I can, where I have this, and I will put something in there later that reinforces this, but also will kind of decorate it. You'll see. This is probably going to be a two-part video because I don't know that I can get it all done in one video, but as far as covering everything up. Now, the decorating and all that, I don't know that I will do it on the video, but I will get it to the point where I sew in the papers, because I think the mechanics are what people want. And now all I'm doing is I'm cutting off the top. Okay. And save these little pieces because you might need them later to patch something up. And I'm going to cut off the bottom. And you could do all the trimming later, but I just like to do it, and then just to kind of help me look and see what I'm working with. So, and if your envelopes are not the same size, you're obviously not going to be cutting straight across, and that's okay. Doesn't matter. So anyway, that is that side, and what's going to happen is that's just going to fold right there like that. And what that does is that also reinforces this part right here. Okay, so again, then here's our next piece right here that we want to cover. So I always fold this back, and then I'll fold that back just so that I can see what I've got, what I'm working with. You know, so that's what we're trying to cover, and we're covering all this up. We're not using it as a window. So and let's see, I think I like that one. I have so many in here that we could use, so So now that we've done that, I could even put this piece up there if I wanted to. But let me see, that one is not big enough. So let's see what we've got. We've got lots of pieces we can put up there. I'm looking for one that I'm not like cutting off a head or something. I think this would work good here. I'm going to use that. And I may want to use that somewhere else too. So how much do I need on that? I don't need that much. So I like the writing and I like the colors. I think we'll do really well with this. So it's just a fun way to use up your papers and get a very eclectic look. And I find with the designers coming out with all of the different collage papers, that part of the reason I was doing all the different pages, different papers on different pages, is I wanted the variation. But with the collage papers, you're kind of already getting that. So without, you know, without much extra work there. So I'm going to put that here. I want it to overlap a little bit. So I'm going to do that. And so that's just going to take that spot right there. And you could get as fancy as you want to get on the collaging part of this. And it's still the same thickness of paper and everything, so you're not really adding anything. And you're not adding a lot of heavy glue if you use a glue stick. So, alright, so there's that. And you'd never know that, you know, it was patched. So save this because I'm going to use that probably for one of the front pieces. So let's see here. So we've done that, and of course that's going to fold both ways. So I like to fold it right when I put the glue on it so the glue sticks where it needs to be. So, alright, so now we have to do this one here. And I am going to Okay, so then we've got our pieces in front that we have to do. Okay, so I will tell you the one thing you need to be careful of is when you're doing, like here we did this side and then we did this side, make sure you don't do it upside down because you're working on a completely different side. The reason I say that is I have done that before. So you want to, just be very aware of the fact what's right side up. Okay, so let's see. We want to do these. So we're going to be doing the back part here and then the back part here. Again, I'm just using pages that I have pieces of. And I really like this. I think that would be pretty there and it would work well. So that'll be part of our front, which I think looks good with the blue. So we'll just call it done. We're going to go ahead and cut that. And I've got to cut the edges off of this. And anyway, so this really makes it go fast. I don't think it's too hard. And I think using a glue stick makes it go fast too. Now we're going to have something on the other side too, but we'll figure that out in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and cover this. And I'm going to use this blue to do that. Now you could take this over the side here if you wanted to, okay? Just to add more to the other part of this, but I don't know. Well, I could do that. It would cover these pieces too. Maybe I'll do that. See this part right here? And what that would do is that covers this a little bit and then you don't have to worry about covering it. I think I'm going to do that. So this is the piece that's attached to here. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue over here. And I'm going to make sure it's glued down right here. And that is going to help reinforce our seam. But that gives us kind of a weird little cutout area here that we have to go all the way over here. Then we're going to have to go right here and then right here. So I hope you can see what I did there. I just took this and went around, and the reason I did that is to cover, see this little piece right here that's going to be over there? It's going to cover that, okay? And we are going to go and cover all those in a little bit, but this did it for us. Okay, and that helps us in covering those little side pieces and reinforcing the journal. Let me get all this out of the way so y'all can see. The same thing with this side. This is the other side of that. Whatever piece we put there, if we use it to cover here, then we don't have to worry about, I don't know if I want that there. Oh, let's see. Find something that is a little bit smaller. That might be too small, but we can certainly patch it together, right? But I don't know that that looks good there. I'm just digging through my stack of papers and trying to find some I think that would look good. That would look good there. But I would have to add something to the top, but that's okay. We can do that. We can add something. Not a big deal to add something. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to cut this. And we're going to go ahead and add this to that one piece, and we're going to overlap it just because it'll be helping reinforce it. Cut that really crooked. Oh, still really crooked. I'm a very crooked cutter. All right, so let's do that. So this is going to go here, and we're going to just let it overlap a little bit, not that much. Let's see, we're going to have to go, I don't want it to overlap too much because I don't want to take away from that. Let's see what we're going to do here. We're going to have to go quite a bit in. I'm going to just see how it looks. Oh, I cut that really super crooked. Super crooked. All right, so that is going to go here. Yeah, I can live with that. I think I can live with that. Okay, we'll do that. And let that overlap over there. And a lot of this stuff you're not even going to really notice because you're going to have so many other papers in there that they all kind of, you know, they work with each other. I need another glue stick. Okay. Another glue stick. I go through glue sticks like you wouldn't believe, but I like using glue stick on stuff like this because it makes it easy and you're not waiting for stuff to dry. Wondering if I should go that way, if that would look better. Yeah. Get that on the edge right there. Did we go over too far? Maybe we did. I can always trim that. I'll just trim it. Okay. So I'm going to patch this up here. That's why I went ahead and moved that. And I don't know what I'm going to patch it with yet. I don't know. Maybe just that. That could be good. Sometimes, or I could get a bigger piece and then go all the way across. Let me see. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I don't know. Nah, that doesn't look good there. Yeah, I really want something bigger though. Okay. I don't know. That's not really what I want either. I don't know what I want. I won't know it till I see it, you know? That might be nice. That might work really well right there. Cut that. And then put that in there. Yeah, I think that looks better. And that can go right there. Okay. And I'm going to have to cut that straighter. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try and get this on right here. I like it better. That way it's not so blank up there. And I'm going to put it right up to there. And that will go, if I can get it up, line it up to the top and then line it up to the left. There we go. Oops, needs to go higher. A little bit higher. That's what's great about glue stick too, is you've got a little bit of time to work with it too. It's not like an instant, oh, I went down lower. That didn't help. Try it again. Third time's a charm. There we go. Get that glue stick off of there. Okay, so then we're going to have the same situation where we have to cut around a little bit, but that's okay. I don't find that hard at all. So you're just using your envelope as your pattern. And you can go ahead and trim it with your smaller scissors if you want to be more precise, which I probably need to do right here. Okay. All right, so now that we've done that, we have yet another section covered. And I'm going to go to the, put more glue right there. We will go to the other side. Let me trim that up. There we go. If you do happen to cut your envelopes open, just take some of your art glitter glue or some glue and then close it up, because it's not a big deal. And if you have a tiny bit of white or something showing, it's not a big deal, because once you ink this all up, you will never notice. Okay, so we've done that part here, okay? And well, let's go ahead and do the other side there, and then we'll leave these flaps for last, okay? So let's take... So then that is this piece. That looks good. You see how seamlessly these all end up looking in there. You don't really notice, you know, the different collage stuff. And wait until you put your papers in there. You won't notice at all. Okay, so now we have our pieces right here that we have to do. These little flippy things. We've got them on both sides that we've got to come up with a top for it. So let's see. And this is kind of important because technically it's your cover. I like that. I might use that. I love that green one. Oh, that's pretty. I could do that. Okay, so let's think about this. We're going to have that there. We've got blue over here. We could go with something like that. Would be really, really pretty. Yes. How far down does that go? Okay, let's just use that. Don't have time to chit chat and think about it, guys. Trying to keep this under an hour. May not be able to do that, but we'll try. Okay, let's see here. Cut that. All right. So we're going to put her on the cover. We've determined that. So I've got to get this a little bit straighter. It's not going anywhere. And I'm going to just glue it on and then trim it. That is super crooked on top too. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be a little bit better than what I'm doing. Okay, so we're going to put her on the front. And I basically treat these like two fronts. That's how I do it. Not that there's any rule that says you have to do that, but okay. Is that pretty straight? Boy, I cut that down almost right, exactly. Just guessing. So that never happens. Okay, so I'm just going to have to trim that a little bit, not much. I'm trying to get all the white off of there. I'm hoping I have enough to do that. If not, not a big deal, because we can always put some ink on it and it'll be fine. So anyway, this is going to be our front. So we've done that, and then we have to have, oh, we just have to trim that a little. I did it so crooked, and that was me trying to be straight. I do better though when I'm not trying to hurry. Okay, so this one we did not overlap right here, but that's okay because we're going to put lace or trim, and I'm going to overlap this part. And I think what I'm going to do on that is I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to use this. I am going to use this. And so anyway, you can see how much easier this is if you did it my other way, because you're not having to cut out, you know, I was cutting out individual panels for each one of these. And I still think this gives you just as much interest as the individual panels because you're using all of this collage paper. So on this one, am I overlapping? I don't think I'm going to overlap that. I'm going to just leave it like that because I'm going to be putting something in there anyway. So that one I'm not overlapping. I'm not going to overlap this here, I don't think. I don't think I am. No, I'm not. Nope. I'll put some seam binding or some sari silk or something in there. Now, if you're going to make this a pocket, you would not glue this part right here, which I actually was going to make it a pocket. So now I've got to get that glue off of there. Let me get a wipe. So I'm going to open this up, and this is going to be a pocket that goes in there. So if you're doing that, you don't want glue right here. Okay, and I forgot that I was doing that, so I'm going to have to you want glue just on this side, on the envelope, and not on the inner side. Make sure it's not any glue left on there. Alright, let's try that again. Okay, we're going to get that down to the bottom. All right, okay, so then we're going to trim that. All right. And that is going to fold. Now this we're going to have to cut a little bit because it is overlapping a tiny bit. All right. This part here is a little bit too long. So we're going to have to cut that. And again, I will be putting a little bit of sari silk or seam binding in there. But that will be this one. Okay, so that is our cover on that side, okay? But I'm not going to have my pocket there. I'm going to have to put a bead of glue, and I'm going to go ahead and let me just get my glue out so you can see what I'm talking about. The glue is going to go right here. Okay. Just one line right here. So that will close this up. And I'm going to put some sari silk. Maybe if I have time, well, I don't really have time. We're just going to have to go over an hour, guys. You're just going to have to deal with it. Okay. So this side is going to be a pocket. So I will have this. Let me open it up. Oh, I didn't cut it enough. I gotta cut it some more, I guess. There we go. Okay. So that is a pocket right there. That's why we glued that shut. And I always put on any of my seams like that, I just take some seam binding or some sari silk or whatever and cover that there, and I cover it there. Or lace or whatever. Okay, so now we need to cover this side, and let's see, what are we going to do on that? Do we want to put her on there? We could. That'd be really pretty. Or we could just do that. We could do just the roses. The roses are pretty. And I have this one too, guys. I could do that one. I kind of like these better, but then they've got water because I just put my thing on it, but we don't need the whole thing. How far up is that going to come? I think I'll just use her. Okay, I'm going to just use her and go up. I don't know how far I need to go. I'm just going to glue it on there, and then we will figure it out later. So anyway, guys, this is a pretty easy process to make the bones, and then the rest of it is just picking out papers and sewing the signatures in. Now I always do like a 5-hole pamphlet stitch on any of my taller journals, and I consider this a taller journal, so I will be doing that on this. But you can definitely do a 3-hole if you want to. You don't have to do the 5-hole. I'm wondering if I should, because how much of that's going to come off of here. That's okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this. And cut this. All right, and then all we're going to do is this part right here, and I'm going to try and do this rose. I think would be pretty, even though it has a water spot on it. We're going to, I think, miss that. All right. So then that will be it, other than, you know, our next portion. I didn't do right here, but I probably went too far right in here with the glue. We'll see. I'm going to go ahead and put the other bead of glue down there that we need, because I'm going to make a pocket out of this too. Oh, my glue's already clogged up. That was quick. All right. That is just going to go there, and I am going to go ahead and put this on there, and hopefully most of that water spot is not going to show up, and if it is, that's just more character. Oh, a little of it is going to be on there, tiny bit. All right. So let's go ahead and cut all that. And then this portion right here. And as I said, guys, I'm going fast because I'm trying to do this on real time. Oh, see, that turned out perfect, just perfect. So that is our other cover. And so we have this on one side, we have that on another side, and here's our journal. Okay, so what's going to happen is that you're going to be in a situation where you can easily put a signature. Oh, that just stuck to the other one. Get that off of there. Yeah, that'll be okay. We'll just have to go in and doctor this up a little bit. I think I had glue from the other side, but that's all right. It didn't really hurt anything. You will have a situation where you have room for 3 signatures. You'll have room here, and you'll have room in here, and you can also put some in here too. So you could have up to 5. So that is what you get with the way that I did it. So I hope this helps people. I found it easier to do it this way, so hopefully maybe it will help some of you. I don't know, maybe I made it more complicated, but I love how this turns out when you use all these different collage papers, because it has a lot of interest already before you've ever started. All right, guys, take care, and I'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.